Welcome to Unity San Francisco service. We're so delighted you're here. Deanne, I'm so glad to be back with you.
I am so glad to be here with you, Ken, and it is so wonderful to be here with everyone as well.
Yay. And as usual, you know, here we are. I'm in my office. You're in your house.
I am.
My daughter's in the corner. So that's what we're dealing with here. And the good thing about it is we can stop and have a tea. Would you like a cup of tea?
I would love a cup of tea. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Thanks.
Oh, great. Good.
Yeah.
Cheers. Let's start this morning off right.
Shall we? Wonderful.
Yeah. And first thing I think we need to do. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get in the environment that speaks to us, right?
I think so. I think we need to go to Page Street. You guys want to join us at Page Street? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Yay!
Yay! Yes, now it feels like Sunday morning. And you know what else will make it really feel like Sunday morning? Let's bring Misa in and let's start the service like we always start, with I Am Light.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. Light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I've left behind. I am light. Light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. I am divinity defined. I am God on the inside. I am a star shining peace over it all. Light.
And now it's time for our prayer. As we breathe into this moment, we feel the vibration of that music and the truth of that knowing. I am light. I am not anything I have ever done. I am an expression of divinity itself here and now to make a difference in the world. So as we breathe once again into this moment, we open our hearts and our minds to this truth, to this knowing that every step we take is guided. Every word we speak comes from that place of knowing who and what we are. and seeing clearly the person and the situation in front of us. Together we create a world that works for each and every individual. Together we create a life on this planet that lifts all souls in this beautiful dance of love, joy, ecstasy, peace, and serenity. So for this time together and for the service we are about to partake with and partake in, we are truly grateful. And together we say, thank you. I am so blessed. Thank you. I am so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. Amen. This month we are also looking at our 5 basic unity principles. First principle is that there is only one power and one presence active and working in the universe and in our lives, God. Second principle is that because we are part of that one, we are inherently divine, inherent goodness. The third principle is that our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs shape the world, actually are creative force in the world. A fourth principle, that through prayer and meditation, we align ourselves with that divine force. And the fifth principle is that it's not enough to know principle itself, spiritual principles, but that we must put them in action. And what better time in the world to do that than right now? It's not enough to know that God is at work. It's not enough to know that I am one with God and I am a divine creation, a child of God, however you want to phrase it. But the important part is to put it into action. So in the midst of the pandemic, in the midst of people's fears and people's concerns and people's worries, in the midst of lack thinking, in the midst of economic turmoil and loss of jobs, to put our principles to work, to know that there is actually in spirit no lack of resources. There's no lack of love. There's no lack of ideas. There's no lack of creativity. And that we align ourselves with those principles, we can transverse and transcend anything in the outside world. Anything that seems to be limiting us, holding us back, or blocking us. And knowing that we are divine, we put that into practice in our health, in our bodies, how we take care of ourselves, how we think about ourselves in our physical bodies. And that practice in the midst of a health crisis is imperative. So those are our 5 unity principles and why they're so important, especially now. It's our time to fill out our connection cards. I invite you, if you're watching on our website, to click the button right below our video and a connection card will come up. You can fill in your address, your contact information, and it's a way for us to stay connected, for you to hear what's going on here, and for us to hear what's going on with you. And if you're a first-time guest here, please, or a second-time guest, please check the box that says first or second-time guest. We have a gift we'd like to send you electronically.
Yes, so welcome. Welcome if you are a first-time guest. We're thrilled to have you with us this morning. It's time for our community song with our very own Nisa Malone and choir. So the invitation here is to actually stand up, just like we would in the sanctuary, and to sing along.
I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. I got a new day.
for Misa Malone and our band and our choir.
Wow, it was great to see so many faces and all the love that was coming through with that. So thank you for doing that. If you'd like to be part of our virtual meet and greet, I invite you to send a short video of you waving or saying hello in some kind of way to us at office@unitysf.com. That's office@unitysf.com, and we'll include you in next week's meet and greet.
Now we have lots of things happening here. At first, Ken and I thought we didn't have a lot happening here.
Yeah.
But we realized we have a lot of things happening here.
So we're going to go through these announcements of them as quick as possible, just to get them out to you. First off is we're going to have spiritual salons. We've reintroduced our spiritual salons. They're very popular. It's an opportunity for us to have a conversation. First one will be after service, immediately after this service. You can follow the Zoom link on the website. So check out the website and the Zoom link and join us on the spiritual salon immediately following service. And then we'll also do one on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And that just be so midweek check-in to see how you're doing and to see how we can support you. So join us on either or both spiritual salons.
And then we also, of course, have our midday meditation, Peace in the Midst, which you can join. And our own Reverend Elizabeth is still leading her morning sound meditation. So please, you can find the links on our website.
And then Reverend Deanne is going to do a special Wednesday night Seder. So tell them about it.
I'm so excited. This came to me like whoosh. I was like, let's do a virtual Seder. So I normally open my home and I invite people into my home, and I'm very limited because I have a small house. So instead this year it's going to be virtual. So everyone and anyone who would like to join for the first night of Seder, which is going to be Wednesday, April 8th, can join me. It's going to start at 6 p.m. It's a tremendously powerful, deep, it's going to be ritual, it's going to be storytelling, it's going to be connection. You do need to register ahead of time so that we can communicate with how we're going to make this happen on a virtual level. But please do check out our website and sign up for the virtual Seder. I'm very excited. Additionally, no mistakes, of course. I love it when it lines up like this, but Passover is going to be happening as the same time as Easter.
Right. And for Easter, as you know, we usually do our flower wreath, where we create this beautiful wreath out of fresh flowers that you all bring to the service in a ritual that we do. But we can't do that because we're not in the physical space right now. But we came up with a way to do it virtually. So what we're asking is that you send us a picture of yourself with a flower or some other symbol of Easter or spring, and send it to us again at office@unitysf.com, and we'll create a virtual process, a virtual meditation that we get to include all of you in for April 12th.
You have to have that in by next Sunday. So you got a week to find a great pic of yourself with something spring-like, but we need that within the week so that we can start building all of this. There's a technical piece here that we need enough time for.
Yeah, so April 5th is your deadline. We'll keep reminding you in many different ways, but we look forward to that. And then the last announcement that we want to touch base with you on is on April 26th, we will be offering Absolute Abundance Metamorphosis. This is the 10-week Metamorphosis prosperity class, and we're going to offer it completely online on Zoom. So it'll be nationwide, wherever you are, or worldwide, wherever you are, you can join us in this class. And it's about creating true abundance in your life, in your health, in your physical body, in your relationships, in your work, and in your finances. So I don't know, there might be something going on in the world right now where we may need to re-anchor into principle about that. So just a little bit, maybe. So we'll have a sign up. We do need to sign up because we need to send you materials electronically. And for those of you who've taken it before, it will be different because it's going to be all online, and I'm getting to reinvent it. Deanne and I are brainstorming about how we can do it and make it fresh and new in the Zoom environment. So looking forward to that and having you join us.
Yeah, So now it's time for our Lenten practice. So here at Unity, the way we practice Lent is through this idea of fasting and feasting from our thoughts and our beliefs that don't serve us. And for today's reading, I'd like to invite Connie Levin, who is a prayer chaplain here at Unity San Francisco. And we are going to be fasting today from some of the thoughts and beliefs that actually don't support us. So she'll be leading the way with, normally we do an affirmation, but this week it's going to be a denial, the things that we're not allowing to have power over us. So Connie, welcome.
Thank you, Reverend Deanne. Today's Lenten spiritual practice is chaos. Today we are using a denial instead of an affirmation. And our denial for today is, I give no power or importance to any chaos in my life. The mere mention of chaos can strike fear into people's hearts. This is especially true when we are mostly focused in our limited mortal minds and self-consciousness. Most people think life is lived from the outside in, that outer conditions cause inner experiences. There very well may be chaotic conditions around us, but the outer does not cause our inner chaos. Our chaotic thinking and feeling cause our inner experience of chaos. There is a better way to live. It comes from the realization that we live from the inside out. The first solution is to let go and release any power or importance given to the chaotic world around us. Then we must let go and release our chaotic thoughts and feelings. When there is seeming chaos, we pause and remember to fast from all ideas of chaos, disorder, confusion, and discord. We remember we can use any seeming chaos as the starting point of a new and higher order. Our denial for today is, I give no power or importance to any chaos in my life. Please know that denial with me. I give no power or importance to any chaos in my life. And so it is.
We have a special treat for you today. Karen Drucker is here to sing for us. So actually, from her studio up in Marin, I give you Karen Drucker.
Hey there, Unity San Francisco. It's Karen Drucker here. How y'all doing? So, in these wacky times that we're in right now, I think the best thing that we can do is just feel our feelings. Just keep riding those waves of feelings. And this song sums it up. Cry if you want to. I won't tell you not to. I won't try to cheer you up. I'll just be here if you want me. There's no use in keeping a stiff upper lip. You can weep, you can sleep, you can loosen your grip. You can frown, you can drown and go down with the ship. You can cry if you want to. Don't ever apologize for venting your pain. It's something to me you don't need to explain. I don't need to know why I don't think you're insane. You can cry if you want to. The windows are closed, the neighbors aren't home. If it's better with me than to do it alone, I'll draw all the curtains and unplug the phone. You can cry if you want to. You can stare at the ceiling, tear out your hair, swallow your feelings and stagger and swear. You can show things and throw things and I wouldn't care. You can cry if you want to. No, I won't make fun of you. I won't tell anyone. I won't analyze what you do or you should have done. I won't advise you to go and have fun. Don't you hate that when people say that? I think I see a smile. I want to slap them. You can cry if you want to. The windows are closed, the neighbors aren't home. If it's better with me than to do it alone, I'll draw all the curtains and unplug the phone. You can cry, you can cry. And when it's empty and ugly and terribly sad, I can't feel what you're feeling, but I know it feels bad. I know that it's real and it makes you so sad. But you could cry. So cry if you want to. I won't tell you not to. I won't try to cheer you up. I'll just be here if you want me to be near you.
Cry if you want to. I won't tell you not to. In fact, I'm actually going to tell you to cry. I wanted to talk to everyone today about courage, courage to feel. We are all in the midst of so much. I am personally aware of just how I am in the midst of so much. And I don't know about you, but this seems to sum up my life perfectly right now. But it feels as if everything that I thought I knew, everything that was familiar has just been turned over in a way. And I don't know what's going to be coming next. I don't know what is going to be happening next. Every day I wake up and it's a new world. I keep hearing, and the world turned upside down from Hamilton, sort of over and over in my head. And I think part of it is that as if I actually took the time to be still and to sit, I might actually start to realize that there's something that's missing. I might start to actually realize that there's a lot of emotions going on inside and they're all connected into a sense of loss. And I read a really beautiful article in the New York Times. And that article in the New York Times was called "That Discomfort You Are Feeling is Grief." And it hit me. It really landed right here in my heart that I am grieving. I'm grieving a lot of things. And as I sat and started to pick it apart, I got clear about a lot of it. And I want to share that with you all today. So the first thing is just loss. There's so much loss going on right now. There's the personal loss that we may be experiencing in terms of loss of our routine or loss of what's familiar, loss of income for some of us, loss of stability for some of us. The human loss. Every time you turn on the news and the death toll is climbing, that's loss, and we're feeling that loss collectively as well as individually. It's something that's going on a massive scale. And I know that personally for me, I've been struggling to actually recognize my loss because, quite honestly, my loss feels kind of trivial in the midst of everything that else is going on in the world. As you look at what's happening in Italy, as you look at what's happening in New York, as we anticipate, which I will talk about in a second, what potentially is coming towards us, my loss, not being able to go to France for the summer, not being able to have that time off that I had been so looking forward to, the Camino potentially looking like probably going to be canceled, all of these things that were dreams of mine, like lifelong dreams to be able to do. And they're not there anymore. And yet, in the context of what else is going on in the world, I'm healthy, I'm safe, I have a beautiful home, I have a beautiful wife, I have a beautiful community. And so in that balancing between what I am so deeply grateful for, there's also this unwillingness to really engage with the grief for the things that actually are lost. Now, in addition to the loss that we may be experiencing, there's also what psychologists and those experts out there in the world call and know as anticipatory grief. And this is huge because this is a big piece of what we're standing in right now. We are in a liminal space right now. We are in a liminal space between what was before and what is coming after. And I want to be really clear, this event is a big before and after event. There will be before coronavirus and there will be an after coronavirus. And our world is going to look very, very different on either side of this event. But we're not on the other side of it yet. We are in this threshold space. And so what we're doing in this space is we are anticipating. It's part of what our primitive reptile mind is doing, is that it's anticipating what is going to be a threat. And we can sense the threat, we can feel the threat, and yet it's kind of amorphous. And so we're not able to actually, like, we know our safety is threatened on some way. Oh, but it's so challenging. So we're anticipating all of that. And this is happening individually and collectively. I honestly believe this is the first time that the entire world has been gathered together in this level of sense of lack of security all around the same thing. There have been other places and spaces in the world where groups of people come together around these types of before and after events. You can think of world wars, you can think of all of these things. But this is the first time where everyone is concentrated in the same way in this sense of grief, anticipatory grief. And unhealthy anticipatory grief, because we can't stop the anticipatory grief, it's part of what we do, but the unhealthy anticipatory grief is going to show up as anxiety. It's going to show up as worry. It's where all we're doing is seeing the worst case scenario. And balance is what is needed. So that, and that's what we have in this teaching. We have the capacity to balance worst case scenario with spiritual principle, with spiritual truth. And that is a powerful thing. And yet, at the same time, what's also possible for us, that our sort of like shadow aspect that as a community we need to be conscious of, is a spiritual bypass. So when we do a spiritual bypass, what we are doing is we are using spiritual principle in a way that doesn't allow us to move through something, but instead is moving us around it. It's like trying to put a Band-Aid over something rather than just walking straight through to the very heart of it all. And my invitation to you, because it's been my invitation for myself all week, is to actually allow myself to become present to the grief, to become present to the loss, and to allow myself to move through it rather than thinking that I somehow have to make it all look pretty. It's not pretty right now. And if we're not willing to navigate the challenges within us, we're not going to actually be able to move through to the other side. I know that that's the case for me. It's how I get stuck. It's how I get sort of frozen. And I feel as if, which I have been feeling, that there is no forward momentum. even though there's no forward momentum in our ability to sort of be in the world out there, there certainly still is forward momentum within ourselves. So we have the 5 stages of grief, and you are probably familiar with them, but let's run through them really quickly in terms of what's happening for us with this coronavirus. So denial, right? So we can see that happening, not just, maybe it happened within us or it's still kind of happening within us, but we certainly can see it out there in the collective as well. This virus won't affect me. It won't affect us. Denial. And the next stage is anger. And we've certainly seen that if we've been watching the news, right? I have to stay at home and not do X, Y, or Z. I can't do the thing I love. I don't like this. It's not fair. And then we have bargaining. Okay, so I will social distance for 2 weeks and it'll all be okay, right? If I do this, it'll all work out. And then there's depression, sadness. I just don't know when this will end. I just don't know how this will end. I don't know what's waiting on the other side of all of this. And then acceptance. It's happening. Now what? And it's in the acceptance that our power lies. Now, remember how I said that these were the 5 stages, but they're not linear. We don't actually move through them linearly. So how we want grief to work is that it's this straight line. But the truth is that is not how, this is how grief looks. This is how it really looks. It goes all over the place. So there may be areas of your life where you are completely in acceptance and you know what's happening and you are moving forward. And there may be other areas in your life where you just are sad. I know I am. I'm just sad about the fact I'm not going to get to go to France. Right? And the bargaining piece, maybe somewhere in there you're bargaining, right? Well, I can do this and then it'll all work out if I do this. And maybe there's a part of you that's still angry at what's been happening. And then maybe there's a part of you that's still in denial about the fact that this is huge and our world is changing. And there's gifts in that, right? There's tremendous gifts in that. And what we are invited into always is present moment awareness. This is what our teaching is founded on. This is what we get called back to again and again and again and again and again and again. It's why we call it a practice. Not because we ever achieve something, not because we're ever done, but because we continually get invited into, I am going to show up, I'm going to ground myself and root myself in my practice. And my practice is knowing that things are happening out there in the world. My practice is not that there is nothing that's going to affect me or impact me, or it's that I am actually rooted in my principles as I navigate what is showing up in the world around me. I am anchored in my principles, not as a spiritual bypass. So I'm avoiding the uncomfortable space within me, the discomfort that I am feeling. I am using spiritual principle, compassion, love, grace, present moment awareness to actually meet myself in love as I experience whatever I experience. Our emotions are going to happen. They're going to move through us. The only time we get stuck in them is when we try not to feel them. If we allow them to move through us and have fluidity with them, then we are actually open and ready and prepared for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opportunity to connect in new and powerful ways. I saw this image and I thought, that's my heart right now. It's sort of hidden and a flame and a light with a passion, and yet I'm protecting it. I'm protecting it. And my invitation to you and to me, because this is as much for me as it is for you, is to let the protection down and to allow the grief, the missing. I miss you guys. I'm just going to own up to that. I miss you. I miss being able to see you and hug you. And if I am honest about that emotional space, I actually get to move through to the other side of it. I actually right now can feel it sort of moving through me. It's only when we deny it that we get stuck in it. Courage to feel. That's what this is all about. The courage to feel. The courage to know that even though we may not be connected in time and in space right now, that we actually are connected in our commitment to spiritual principle, that we are connected in different and powerful ways. And that even though we may feel alone, we truly aren't alone. There is an entire world out there that is navigating that with us. And we get to join them in consciousness. We get to join them in consciousness. Community is not about proximity. Community is about connecting in that understanding of who and what we truly are. The company we keep matters immensely, particularly right now, as we may be feeling vulnerable and we may be feeling a little fragile. So I found this song and it inspires me and it made me think of all of you. So let's just take a moment and allow this beautiful, beautiful song. It's being performed by Thrive Choir. They're out here in the East Bay. We Shall Be Known, which is actually by Mom Muse. And let's just take a moment and allow this beautiful, beautiful song to speak to us.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in
In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. And we need to feed the well. We need to be in the well. And that means that we need to be willing to walk through to that space and know that we have each other, even if it doesn't feel like it, even though it's expressing in a different way, that this is an opportunity for us to deeply practice, but we have to be allowed. We have to give ourselves permission to truly be in touch with that emotional space that is, for me at least, so alive right now, so present. So William Worden talks about the 4 tasks of grief, and I think that they're really beautiful. Tears, and a teacher told me once that you can't grow anything without water. So tears are a way for us to water ourselves, to water the world, so that we can lead with love. And the idea that it's what grief does for us, if we allow it, is that we first accept the reality of the loss, whatever that loss may be right now. We just have to accept it. And then experience the pain that that loss brings, the sadness, just allowing ourselves to really be in it. And then we get to adjust. And a lot of us are doing that. We're doing that in a lot of ways. As I said, none of this is linear. So with the adjustments happening, and then we might need to also then experience the loss again, and then the adjustment happens. And eventually we're going to invest in a new reality. It's just that we don't really know what that new reality is right now. It's a moving target. So we breathe and we anchor principle. We feed the well that we are. We take time to really connect, and we anchor ourselves in our spiritual principles, not as a way to bypass, not as a way to ignore what is arising within our hearts, but as a way to cultivate a greater expression of the divinity that we are. So that instead of that heart in that cave that is so protected, that the potential, the possibility is there for us to burst forth as love, lead as love, be the love, powerfully, joyfully. So let's take this into our time of meditation.
So if there's anything that I want you to have in your heart right now, as we go through all this, what we're all going through, it's this message right here. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry just fall away from me. I open my heart and I can see there is only love. There is only love, sweet love. It's a love that can heal. Love will set us free. There is only love. And when I lose myself in those times when it seems like I have lost my way, I go inside and I quiet this chattering mind, and that's when I can hear spirits say, sing with me now, there is only love, there is only love. It's a love that heals, only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. Just love. Right now, that's what we gotta do. Just love. Love yourself. Love your family. Love.
There is only love. There is only love. So we take this moment and we allow ourselves to get still and quiet, opening the heart, feeding the well, feeling any sense of separation, feeling the walls of your home, the sense of disconnect just dissolve into the nothingness that is. And we join, we connect in that place, that space in consciousness. That is love. That is light. And we allow ourselves to feel all that we are feeling, knowing that we're held by this love, that it is a container that is strong enough and powerful enough to allow us to have the emotional experience we are having and hold it compassionately. There is only love. Allow that to calm your system. Love that heals. Love that sets us free. You can sing this with us. There is only love. Love that heals. Love that sets us free. There is only love. Oh, how good it is to know that we have all we need to support ourselves and the world. A world that is only love. How good that is. How grateful I am. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Namaste.
Wow. Thank you, Deanne. And thank you, Karen Drucker. What a beautiful, beautiful experience that was. It's now time in our service where we do our spiritual practices, this way of reminders, our personal reminders to put this in our week, to keep it forward in our minds and in our practice during the week. So if you click on the button, if you're on our website that says spiritual practices, if you're on YouTube, there's a link that says spiritual practices, and they'll come up in a window, which we will mail back to you so you can have them as a reminder. And this week's spiritual practices are give myself permission to feel. It's okay to cry. Thank you, Karen and Deanne. And cultivate present moment awareness. It's so hard not to be in the future or in the past or anywhere but the current moment. So to just take that time to cultivate, to hold myself and the world gently. Forgiveness. Forgiveness for not being perfect for ourselves and others. And our last, connect with others who lead with love. Putting love first. Thank you. So you can finish filling that out. And now we segue into our time of giving and receiving. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the service, we have to put our spiritual principles into practice. And sometimes when it is the most difficult to do that, of course, is when we're in the middle of a global pandemic and the stock market is crashing and everything's contracting. And to stay still in that moment and know that everything is okay, that there is more than enough, that the prosperity principles hold true. So when we give, especially give in this kind of environment, to give with joy and security, knowing, a true deep knowing that as we give, we receive. And so it's a practice. It's a practice to build that muscle and to prove that teaching. So whether it's your giving of your time, your talent, or your treasure, you do it with joy and do it with love. And so to talk about that, I'd like to invite up Frank Burgoyne right now. He's one of our board members, and he's going to talk to you about why he gives here at Unity San Francisco.
Thank you, Ken. I was at my gym when Mayor London Breed made the shelter-in-place announcement. The manager of my gym went around to tell each of us we would need to leave because of the shutdown. I will admit that my first thoughts were not ones of gratitude and prosperity, but soon after, when I got home, I knew I wanted to sit down and make a long gratitude list for what I had in my life. I learned about gratitude in the absolute abundance classes I took, and also from attending weekly Unity services where Ken and Deanne both reinforced concepts of gratitude and prosperity. I was able to quickly shift my thinking and see that there would be other possibilities for my business during a downturn, and that I was open to those ideas that were now flowing to me rapidly. I'm so grateful for my Unity San Francisco community. I've received so many gifts from the classes, our Sunday services, and the wonderful music that inspires me weekly. It's easy for me to make a financial commitment to giving to Unity because of all the gifts I receive back all the time. Thank you, everyone, and many blessings to you all.
Thank you, Frank. That was wonderful. I'm so glad that you are part of our team here, part of our board. And also, I wanted to mention to everyone that you can give by clicking the donate button on the screen if you're on our website, or the link if you're on YouTube, or you can just mail in a check. You can mail in a check to us. It goes directly to us. We don't have to pay the credit card fees then. We are still getting mail here at 240 Page Street, picking it up and processing it. So you can mail it to our office address, or you can go onto our website and set up a recurring payment through PayPal or through our link, or you can set up a reoccurring payment in your own bank account. All of those are the many different ways that you can help support us during this time and help us continue to build our community and build our programs during this. We have an offering affirmation. It goes, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I joyously give and receive. Can we know that together? Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I joyously give and receive. And so it is. Now, to practice gratitude, once again, I give you Misa Malone singing Daniel Nahmod's Grateful. I invite you all to stand to sing along with us as you're willing and able.
All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything beautiful. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. For it all, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful for it all, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful for it all, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful for it all, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful
Do you
for
like this?
it
Okay.
all.
So now it's time for blessing of the children. So delighted to be surrounded by all of these kids. So we say, you are God's perfect child. We love you exactly the way you are. Can we know that together? You are God's perfect child. We love you exactly the way you are. And so it is.
Oh, it was just so wonderful to see the kids. Oh, a big thank you to everyone who made this service possible. Wow. So Misa, Ryan, Alex, you are a superstar. Katie, Jared, I'd really love to thank Karen Drucker. How awesome are you? Thank you so much for coming and joining us this morning. And then I'd additionally like to lift up the prayer chaplains who have been sitting vigil and holding this community and the world in a very, very solid anchored prayer space. This service would not be happening if it wasn't for the prayer space, Ken, that the prayer chaplains are holding. So if you would like to pray with the prayer chaplain or with Reverend Ken and myself, you can click on the button, which is on our website. It says submit a prayer request. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link that you can click that will take you to that same page. You can write down any comments that you might have, a prayer request, or we absolutely are here for you. You can also call the office. We are able to receive messages that get left on our voicemail. So please, we'd love to hear from you. It's been so beautiful connecting with so many of you over these past weeks. It makes my heart sing.
And so we have a lot happening. Just for reminders, right after service today, we have our spiritual salon. You can follow the link on our website. It'll take you right to the salon. It'll happen in Zoom room immediately following this service. Also, then we're doing another salon on Wednesday night at 7. Please check out the website to get the Zoom link to follow to that one. Also, every day, Monday through Saturday, we have meditation starting at 9:45 in the morning with Reverend Elizabeth and at noon with Reverend Deanne. You really want to catch those. They're really phenomenal. Great way to really center yourself during this time. Also, remember, next Sunday is our deadline to send in your Easter pics. We need your Easter pics to create the Easter Sunday wreath, and we really want you to participate in that. So send them to office@unitysf.com. So on Wednesday night, we'll have a spiritual salon from 7 to 8 o'clock, and then the following Wednesday night, we'll have a virtual Seder. So And then we'll go back to the salon after that. Wednesday nights are going to be about us coming together as a community. And then the last shout out is for Karen Drucker. She's having a concert tonight, a virtual concert tonight. And you're going to see the details on the screen here. You can go to this link and attend hear more of Karen tonight. She's doing a concert up at the CSL in Marin. So please support her and join her there. And now it's time for our closing song, True Colors. So I invite you all to stand as you're willing and able and to sing with us and join with us as we close our service today, as we always do, with True Colors.
You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged, though I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you makes you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, you call me up because you know I'll be there. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
And now it is time for our transformational affirmations. I will say them once and I'll invite you to repeat them after me. I am willing to be vulnerable. I fully embrace the present moment. I practice compassion for myself and the world. I consciously choose love.
And I see my true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So we're not afraid to let them show our true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Happy Sunday, everybody.